Friday. Big up yourself, babes. How are we doing on this Friday? What was I going to go and talk about? The last live I was on last weekend, people were talking about business related questions, and I posted a short clip. Hi, Leah. How are you, my darling? Isaiah, babe, your girl Soph. How are you? I posted a short from. Oh, that was you, Isaiah. Babes, we're dealing with business today. Okay. I posted a clip from my podcast, and it's a very short clip. It's like 30 seconds long, and it has really upset Instagram. Um, People have said that I needed to result in clickbait because I have no talent, and how else am I going to garner attention? Let me just explain what the clip was. So the clip was me having a conversation with a Jamaican pastry chef who is living in Dubai. Hi Kev, how are you, babes? Big up yourself from Nigeria. So she is Chef Shauna. She's a pastry chef living in Dubai, and I asked her if she feels that you can have like work-life balance in hospitality. And I then go on to say, which is the main part of this clip, right? The clip only shows this tiny part. I go on to say that when I was hiring people, if your main priority was work-life balance, then I would not hire you. And my explanation for that was because I don't think that hospitality is the industry that can provide that. I honestly did not think that that was controversial. To me, most people appreciate that hospitality is working on the weekends, it's working at nighttime, it's essentially working when everybody's having fun, it's working on holidays. And so I didn't think that was a controversial take. It turns out that me saying this has made me the worst employer of all time. It has made me a villain and the problem with the hospitality industry, and the fact that, the industry has changed and all of these things. So the internet's gone crazy over on Instagram, as in like in a day it was at 100,000 views, and the world was telling me that I'm evil and that I'm a slave master, all of these really wild things. And so I thought it would be a nice segue into actually talking about business, because I don't think it's controversial to highlight that particular industries, depending on our priorities or not, may align with what we want. And so, what I meant by I won't hire you if that's your priority, because I don't feel that you are actually going to enjoy working with me. Right? Like if you want to go to the concert or to do the things with your family, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't think that hospitality, at least the hospitality from an independent restaurant open 7 days a week, kind of hospitality is going to work. And then some people are like, oh, you probably don't pay your team. I'm like, what are you talking about? My core team was with me for 7 years, 7 of the 10 years that I was open, 9 years, sorry, 9 years that I was open. I'm like, nobody said that because you're working, you're not getting paid. But some people don't want to work even if you are getting paid. Like for some people, being at home with their mother on Mother's Day, there is no money that you could put on that. So I just thought it was strange, because I genuinely didn't think that this was a controversial take. And it turns out, babes, that it is super controversial. So I'll pause and get to the comments. Please share how you cook your quinoa. I cook my quinoa in chicken stock. So a lot of people say that they find like lentils or quinoa or their grains to be bland. I never cook grains just by themselves. I always put some stock in there because I feel like that's where you get the flavor from. How's my day going, Anna? It's been a long day, babes. I am trying to plan Manila. So I'm going to Manila soon for the podcast. And Manila has been the hardest destination to plan. So the podcast, obviously, you find guests, you find production. I always find a clothing partner. I still don't have a clothing partner. I still don't have all the guests. And I had to rent out an Airbnb and then bring someone for the production, because the production companies in Manila, the quality is just not good enough. So I'm stressed, to be honest with you, and I'm trying to stress less, but it's not working. um, Thank you. I'm glad that you got my hair. It's uneven, and babe, it need for wash now. So I think I'm gonna take it out maybe tomorrow or the day after, but I'm glad that you like it. I was tempted to put it back in because I just really prefer not combing my hair, but I just the place wasn't up to scratch. My 21-month-old was refusing to eat, but I include her in the making of eggs now, and every morning she has an egg. Grateful, big up yourself, baby. I want to say thank you. Oh, Bobs, are you saying it's because of me? Plus no screens. Big up yourself, babes. Is it a French plat? Babe, I call this cane Rena. I'm from Jamaica. I don't know. French plat sounds like it's for white hair. I hope that's okay. I'm not being rude. Oh gosh, watch me get BLOCK'd on this stupid thing. Um, oh my God, please don't be affected by them. They don't know what they're saying. Leah, did you see the post? It was very bizarre. Very bizarre. And normally I don't really get affected by comments, but I felt like I was in a boxing ring. I felt like people were just knocking me in the head and I didn't even know that it was coming. I think that's why it caught me off guard, because I genuinely thought that everybody knew hospitality was difficult. Then this one lady, she comments and she's like, well, that sounds like a discrimination lawsuit. And I hope I'm not offending any Americans in this chat, but I can tell when an American is commenting because they always bring up lawsuits. And I was just like, how is it a lawsuit? All I am saying, she's like, I have a newborn baby. So if I came to interview with you, would you not hire me? Like, what are you saying? I am a mother who likes to be with my children all the time, especially at this very young age. Not every mother wants to do that. So of course I'm not going to not hire you just because you have a child. Like, people parent differently, people have different needs, different desires, and different priorities. All I was saying is that if your priority is work-life balance, and let us also be honest, post-COVID work-life balance is not pre-COVID work-life balance. Remember, for a lot of people, if you were in the UK, I don't know what the system was going on in America, so please feel free to inform me. But if you were in the UK and you were being furloughed, which was what, like 80% of your salary, right? So you're getting 80% of your salary to be at home for like a year and a half. It did change the way people felt about work-life balance. It was like work-life balance on steroids. And so my point is that working for an independent company where you're having to work your nights and your weekends, and also hospitality is a physically laborious job that is often not respected by people. And I'm just like, for some people that is not the lifestyle that they desire. And this idea that we're going to just change industries to suit the changes in like society is just not realistic. Who is going to serve the dinner? The dinner is always going to be at dinner time. Just because people's like desires have changed in the workplace doesn't change the way dinner is served and the time that cocktails are drunk. It's very bizarre. April, not sure if you saw my comment. Don't want to pester me. Babes, I missed you. I didn't see a comment. I've scrolled to the top. There's no comment there, baby. Let me know. Sorry, I have to go. Maybe another live tomorrow. I know. Big up yourself, baby. Coming to your comments now. Ah, when I have kids, I want to grow them the same way you grow yours. Thank you very much, my darling. You're just trying to make sure you get the right people. Thank you. That is exactly it. I am trying to make sure that we are aligned, right? Like, again, when I'm running a business, right? You have your core team, especially in hospitality, you have your core team and then you have like your auxiliary people. Your auxiliary people come and go. They might be like your summer workers. They might be people who, they just have a goal in mind and they need that extra job just to get them over the line and then they'll leave you. That's fine. But your core team, like my core team was my ride or die. Like, I still talk to them. And the whole point is, why am I going to waste your time when you have let me know what your expectations are? And if I cannot meet those expectations, like I've had some people say that they never want to work on a weekend. Babes, I don't have enough space in the team to have people that don't want to work on the weekend. Bye, Anna, baby. Oh gosh, scrolling back to, I just really wish somebody would just fix the comments on TikTok Live. Can somebody write a letter? Write an email so that we can just go through the comments just in a normal fashion and just make everybody happy. Where are we at? Hi again, Freya. Big up yourself, baby. How are you? Are your burns okay now? Thank you so much for asking. So you guys probably don't notice, but my eyelashes still haven't grown back. And I thought that I could get extensions, as in just put on some eyelash extensions so that I could feel like myself again. I did not appreciate what eyelashes do to your face. And I do have long eyelashes. Um, but now that they're gone, I'm like, they just, they made my face better. And so I contacted three companies. They all said the same thing. They said you have to wait for your eyelashes to grow out. It would be more damage if I put eyelash extensions on them now. And I was grateful that they were honest. And so, babes, we're waiting for the lashes to grow out so that I can look like myself again. I know this might sound trivial, but yeah, I just realized I miss my eyelashes. Anyway, in terms of the main burns was on my feet. And they're much better now. Thank you, Wake Up, for asking. That's very, very kind of you. Um, what happened? Oh, I don't remember. What post? Oh, that I'm referring to. So I couldn't share it on TikTok because whenever I share posts from my podcast on TikTok, they automatically get deleted because it says that it's unoriginal content, even though it's just clips from my podcast. So I posted it on what's the name? On Instagram. So it was just a post me saying about hospitality. Them just want to start trouble. Isaiah, honestly, I just did not see it coming. Just to let you know, babes, I have zero offspring. And I plan to raise them the way you do. Kyra, big up yourself, baby. Rukia, why are they deleting your comments, babes? Maybe type it creatively so that we can see what you're saying. Um, Leah G, babes, you're saying exactly, and you should know I take a very long time to get to the comments because I talk too much. It's a my problem, not a your problem, but you have to give me some context, babes, because I have no idea what you're saying. Hi, Kay with Color. Hope you and your girls are doing well. Thank you very much, my darling. We are scrolling through. Hello, I don't know what flag that is. Red, purple, and yellow. Please pardon my ignorance, babes, and let me know what flag that is. Are you in the same place where the oven? No, baby love. As soon as that oven blew up, I left straight away. I would never stay in a place. I appreciate it could happen elsewhere, but no, I would never stay there again. Um, Hi again, Freya. Oven, I got you, baby. Where are we going? Scrolling through. Ah! Why is this thing so awful? I'm so sorry, but I need to go eat my dinner. Freya, eat the dinner, baby. I only give my 19-month-old whole foods. He's allergic to eggs and peanuts, any good meals. In terms of egg replacements, people often ask about egg. And I would just remind you that any food can be breakfast food. The whole breakfast food category is just a marketing scam. So whatever your child likes for lunch or dinner, they can eat it for breakfast. Please share your go-to meals. So breakfast for us is always the same. It is always eggs with complex carbs, tends to be a good fat like avocado on the plate as well. In terms of like my go-to weekly staples, I always have beef mince like once a week. I'm anemic, red meat. I try and just have a little beef mince once a week. Also, I find it a really good, satisfying, easy way to pack it filled with ingredients. I never just serve beef mince and red sauce. First of all, I don't think it tastes good. And secondly, why waste the space, babes? So I always put like some beans or lentils, other like leguminous vegetables in there, and mushrooms, eggplant, or you might say aubergine. Like there's just ways to just stack and buff up the beef mince, right? And it can just taste good on so many things. Also, once a week, I'm always doing a tray bake, like with some sort of roasted chicken and roasted veg, literally just laid out in the oven. Don't need to think about it, keep it moving. It's a part of the reason why I always have to rent a place with an oven, because I use my oven. I love the season dash, keep it moving kind of vibes. Other things in terms of like, instead of rice, I did a post recently, so I'm always having like lentils, bulgur wheat, quinoa. These are like my go-tos. There's always some fish involved. To be honest, babe, there's just everything involved. But those tend to be like my main vibes, if that makes sense. Okay. I really admire how you feed your girls. I feel the same way about feeding my daughter. The hard part is when they go to grandparents or other loved ones' houses. Phaedra, baby, I have shared a post on that. I don't know if I shared it on YouTube, actually. I will double check. But you need to just lay boundaries with kindness and compassion, get people on your side. And also, if somebody continues to undermine you, I take that as direct disrespect and there should be consequences. But that's just me, babes. That's just me. To me, and no, I don't live in the UK. I have not lived in the UK for over a year. Hi Z, big up yourself, baby. How are you? Scrolling through. Sorry, I think it deleted, but are you still in the... No, baby, not in the same place. Do you use lash growth serum? No, but I do put castor oil on my face, and so I'm hoping that when I rub up my face with the castor oil, it just going to do something to the lashes. Does lash growth serum really work? That is the question. There are oils that you can use. Does it really work here with color, or is it just trying to take my money? Hi, Martin. Big up yourself, babes. How are you? Would you ever become vegan and why? So I was vegan for 6 months, long before children. I was talking to this lady. We were talking about the produce in England and just how the food industry has been so tampered with that you can't really trust food, etc. And so then I was like, after this conversation, some spirit took me and I decided to go vegan. And I was eating a lot of curry chickpeas, and it was fine. A lot of people think that I'm vegan now because I guess I talk about healthy eating and people associate healthy eating with veganism. And then you know what? I saw this lady, the same lady I was talking to, walking down the road with a cigarette, and I was just like, really? We're gonna be talking about meat, but you're smoking? And that from that day, I was like, you know what, babes, I want a piece of meat, yeah. So then I went back to eating meat. Said hi, Rukia, baby. Hi. I only give my 90. Oh, we did that. Oh, we did dinner. Oh, we've now scrolled up. Do you use any hair care products for your girls? So, shampoos, conditioners. I'm not particular about their hair care. I do just use like a sulfate-free shampoo, but apart from that, I'm not particular. I do obviously try and make sure that it's not filled with absolute garbage. But again, when we've traveled, there have definitely been times where I've had to use like the hotel supplies, which we know is not going to be great. But I always say you do the best that you can with the tools that you have, babes. I have 11 children. No, you do not have 11 children. My children under the age of 8 also don't eat any sugar. It's easier because we live in the countryside. 11 children, babes. Big up yourself. I'm just like, how you push out 11 picnic? My grandmother had 15 children. I'm convinced that's why she was so miserable. I hope you're not. I heard a noise. I've been hearing noises all night. I don't know if it's in my head or if I'm just being paranoid, but I'm stunned. I'm in awe of people who have multiple kids. Like I'm talking 3, and babes, you just dropped down 11 children. Oh my gosh. Hail to you, baby. Where are we at? Hey Shay, big up yourself, my darling. Why you baby love, like why do I say baby love? I don't know. Babes, honestly, I watch back sometimes. Like I posted a video about some desserts after dark, and I was talking about this chocolate cake which had like a mousse and it was covered in chocolate ganache. And somebody left a comment and they said the one position line took me out and I didn't remember what they were talking about. So I went and watched back the video, and I'm comparing this cake to a woman with only one position. And I'm like, April, what are you saying? What are these words that are coming out of your mouth? Honestly, when I'm doing most of the videos and describing food, I don't know where these words come from. They just come in my brain and they come out of my mouth. And I'm just like, how did we even get there? So I don't know how we get to baby love all the time. You're genuinely done, you promise, babes. We won't judge. My son went for a night at his grandma and ate noodles from his uncle. He's 3 and he's been asking for it since. Babes, communicate with your baby. Communicate, explain why you can't have the noodles all the time. So my girls had noodles for the first time after the age of 4. We're traveling in Southeast Asia. It's obviously very common to have noodles. And I don't do instant noodles, by the way. I do think there's a difference between rice noodles and instant noodles, or egg noodles and instant noodles. Anyway, the point is, I just want to share with you that you can communicate. My children have since had noodles. They have since had pasta, again, post 4. They have since had homemade bread, post 4. And they don't ask for it every day. And they're very aware and they understand why we're not having it every day, which is why I chose to wait. I did a post, I think it was yesterday, and I was just explaining that if your child is asking for something all the time and you're constantly having to say no, 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 maybe it has been introduced to that child a little bit too early. A lot of people see the content, babes, and they're like, they think never. Somebody asked me today if my children are ever going to be able to use a screen. Of course, I don't mean never. Why would I ever say never ever? Have you seen what I eat? So I just want to encourage you that communication, let us not underestimate what our children can comprehend. A lot of times we think that they won't understand, so that we don't, for that reason, we don't tell them. And I think that that is a real shame because they do understand. I have two sets of you have two sets of twins and a set of triplets. Is this real, babes? Oh my gosh. So my grandma with the 15 children, she only had one set of twins. Two sets of twins and one set of triplets. Babes, I feel like I just want to talk to you privately just to really understand what is going on. Traveling is a nightmare. How do you even travel? What size is your car with 11 children? We just came back from the Bahamas. Babes, how are we affording 11 children on a plane? I am in awe. Honestly, I'm in awe. Um, yeah, my son has veg and quinoa for breakfast. Amazing. When you would discipline your kids in front of family or friends, would they get involved? No, they wouldn't get involved. I don't believe that children need to hear the same discipline from multiple voices. I'm very confident in the sound of my own, but also by the same token that I am happy for friends and family to discipline my children because I don't bring my children around people who we don't share the same values or they don't at least respect my values. But yeah, we don't have like chaotic scenarios. Um, coming through. Hi, Shelly, big up yourself, baby. You're agreeing with everything. Leah G, big up yourself, my darling. For real, we have been brainwashed to think cereal, toast, jam, pancakes is normal for breakfast. 100%. My children used to have banana pancakes once a week because we would have to go to a swim class very early. And so I'd make them early, and then it's easy for them to grab and go and not have like a ridiculous mess in the car. Scrambled eggs would be quite difficult to eat on the go. But again, now that they're older, they understand that we can't have pancakes all the time because we eat a protein-rich breakfast, and they will tell you that one egg in the pancake mix because they can make their own pancakes themselves now. My daughters cooked their own eggs yesterday. I was so proud of them. As in, so they've been like whisking eggs and stuff for years essentially. But to turn on the stove, they cracked their eggs themselves in the pan and cooked their eggs. I was not involved at all. And I was like, wow, check you out, babes. You all. Oh, I would love to break it down for you. It's not easy. And we're really grateful and blessed. Babes, I love the good vibes. I love the good vibes. I'm so glad your videos came on my FYP. I'm 21 and I'm a picky eater. I plan to break that habit. Shy doll, big up yourself, baby. Honestly, most of it is up here, my darling. I promise you. I'm eating deviled eggs and hot sauce. I love that. We did the discipline question. What was your diet like growing up? A lot of people want to know this. So my diet growing up wasn't probably as good as mine is for my children, but I was allowed fast food once a week, so that was my Friday. Um, my driver would always tempt me to go to Burger King where I lived. So I don't know if anyone's from Jamaica in this live, but I live by Manor Park, so I used to go to the Burger King in Manor Park. You love the nails. Thank you very much, babes. One broke, so I was going to chop them all off. And then I said, let's go for a little design. I was thinking of redoing them on Friday. What do we think? Do I need to redo the nails on Friday? Because I feel like it's growing out a little bit. And maybe I'll just do them one more time before I take it off. Because yes, I'm aware that gel is toxic and all the things. But I'm growing up, back to my diet. I would also eat, what are those burgers? There are these jerk burgers. Jamin something burger. Oh, if you're from Jamaica, help me out. There are these burgers. Anyway, I used to have like one of those when I would come home. So my diet wasn't super clean. My helper would cook chicken all the time. I've said this before, which is how I got into cooking because I was like, oh my gosh, could we stop with the chicken? But it wasn't a bad diet at all. I stopped drinking fizzy drinks or soda when I was 13. I just decided by myself. And in our house, we just never really had lots of crap. We did have Pop Tarts at one point because I was influenced by Nickelodeon, and I did have a Lunchable. If you're from America, you know the Lunchables, and it just never tastes good. Even when I was little, it was like rubbery. I didn't like the meat. So like, although I had been influenced by the ads on TV, when I tasted it, it just wasn't good for me. And I've been very lucky that I genuinely don't like snacks and things like that. Like I just don't like them. I love like a homemade cookie, babes, but I'm never gonna like, I didn't like Oreos. I never got the Oreo hype. So a lot of times when I was younger, I'd try things because like that's what people at school were talking about, and then I just never liked the way they tasted. And I'm hoping that my children are going to be exactly the same. Did you know you have a high chance of multiples. Yes, with every pregnancy, babes. I have shared this before that when you have your first set of twins, it's 1 in 250. Then if you have children again, it goes to 1 in 12. But babes, you are beating the statistics surely with the twin triplet flex. Do you homeschool? Yes, I do. I do homeschool my girls. I only steam and boil for my son. Big up yourself, babe. Steaming is the best way, just for other people who might not know, steaming is the best way to retain nutrients in your food. And when you're boiling, just be careful not to overboil because basically all of the nutrients will be in the boiling water and no longer in the vegetable. What are my favorite veggies? Beetroot has become my favorite post children. So I never really used to eat beetroot. And then a chef told me it was good for my skin. And so I eat beetroot nearly every day. I love callaloo. Again, I never loved callaloo as a child. It was too bitter for me. And now I love callaloo. And it just makes me feel more connected to home. I love sweet potato, pumpkin, dasheen, cassava. I love root vegetables. Like, I just love them. I like veg, babes. I like food. Um, Scrolling through, your voice is so lovely and calming. Thank you very much, Evie. How do you and your kids feel about pets? So I was bitten by a dog nearly a year ago. I need to follow up the case actually. I was bitten by a dog, and the reason that's relevant is because the girls were really good with dogs before then, and now they are not so good. We're making baby steps, but we're not so good. But we don't have pets because of our lifestyle, and also I would wait until they're actually old enough to look after them. Scrolling through, Ruthie is laughing. I'm not sure why Ruthie is laughing. Your hubby is a fraternal twin, and I've got loads of twins in my family, so I wasn't surprised. um, what is interesting, they say that it doesn't matter about the dad's likelihood of having twins. Sorry, it doesn't matter about the dad's genes in terms of the likelihood of having twins. Apparently, it only matters about the mother. And I also have twins in my family. So you are destined for this, babes. Scrolling back up because if I've missed the comment, I'm very okay, cool. I'm back. I'm back in. I'm not gonna miss any comments. Hi from London. Big up yourself, babe. Sinem. From the Bahamas, Lavette. I'd love to visit the Bahamas. What we did the diet growing up question. You've reached Zimbabwe. Muno, big up yourself, baby. How are you? I'd love to visit Zimbabwe. Everyone that I've met from Zimbabwe has been lovely, honestly. I've worked with people from Zimbabwe. Yeah, I just have nothing but good things to say. Sania, thank you very much, my darling. Do you have any home remedies for strep? I really don't want antibiotics. Babes, I wish, Kaylee, I wish I could help you. But I don't know how to treat strep. In Jamaica, we'd have a tea for everything, but I don't know. I'm very sorry. Oh my God, you're my favorite person ever. I literally see you as my inspiration. Samantha, big up yourself, baby. Thank you for being so kind. Why would you say that about your grandmother being miserable? She was not a nice person at all. I wasn't a fan. She just was very cold to me. She gave me my first hug when I was like 13 years old. She clearly didn't like me, and the feeling was mutual. It's fine. You might be new here, but I don't believe in blood is thicker than water, so that's okay. I love your commentary in the videos. I'm glad. Very flirty. Ooh, who's flirting, babes? China, big up yourself, my darling. We're supposed to be talking about business tonight, Isaiah, and I've just gone on a tangent. Cerasee, honey, and lemon. Guys, for strep, cerasee, honey, and lemon. Okay, Phaedra, thank you very much. Kim, thank you, my darling. Thank God I didn't make it to 50. Babes, there's still time. That's all I'm saying. We did the diet question. You sound like a Jamaica news reporter. That is so funny. Jamaica news reporters actually crack me up. How is traveling with the girls? Absolutely amazing. My children are amazing. I was with a nanny today, so there's a little boy that lives next door. His one parent is from Ukraine, the other is from Russia. They used to live in Argentina, so the little boy was born in Argentina, but now they're here. And the nanny was just really not understanding that the girls don't watch television. So she says, okay, cool, they don't watch television, but do they watch things on your phone instead? And I was explaining to her that no, they don't. And she's like, really? She just couldn't understand it. And then she's like, how are you like traveling with them by yourself? Are they always this calm? She was asking me all of these questions about parenting. And it was very, very sweet. But honestly, the reason I share this is because I know I talk about my children all the time. But like when you see my girls in action, I'm biased 100%, but I can be objective. If I had little terrorists, I would tell you that I had little terrorists. But like when you see them in action, everybody's in awe. Everybody's just like, oh my goodness. I'm just like, they are just amazing little people. So to answer your question, Phaedra, they are absolutely amazing to travel with. I personally focus on food that are indigenous to Nigeria and I can trust the sources. I completely get that. I think people underestimate how much a child can understand. And then, and then I said it. Babes, great minds think alike. Or what is it? There's another one for the opposite of that. There's always a saying for everything. Chef Chocolatier, Keith, big up yourself, baby. Kaylee, be careful with strep. It can turn into serious illness quickly. Thank you very much for sharing. Hi, Mighty Mike. I have fraternal twins. They're now 39. Plus, Jamaica is in the Guinness Book of... What? What is Jamaica? As in the children are in the Guinness Book of Records? Babes, explain. Yaya, big up yourself, my darling. How are you? Platform getting big. Babe, honestly, on Instagram, my rate of growth, I don't know why, but it's been plateauing, babes. It's like we're at 150. I feel like it took me forever to get to 150. And then it feels like recently TikTok is giving a little bit of vibe. So yeah, I don't even pay attention to these things anymore. Also, I'm not really even sure what people are supposed to do with these followers, because clearly when people are like, oh, is social media a business? No, I get like $200 from TikTok, but I clearly am doing something wrong, because people with low followings, either they're lying to us about how much they're making, or I'm just not doing it right. But either way, I'd like to know by the end of the year. Have I ever been to Suriname? No, baby. Tell me about Suriname. Watching from Jamaica, big up yourself, Ruthie Boo. Miriam, how are you, my darling? I approached the parents and they brushed it off as they're just kids being kids and walked away. Babes, I missed what you said. No, I don't see. Stay authentic. Thank you very much, Phaedra. Amina, I love your videos. I don't have any children yet, but your videos are inspiring. Big up yourself. Oh, the other day I asked on Instagram whether people wanted, oh, maybe I can do like a poll. Can you do like a poll? So I'm thinking, I was really not into this idea of doing a retreat, because I feel like the poll has started, but I didn't get to ask the poll. What the hell is the questions? Guys, can you tell that this is not my forte? Quick poll in progress. And okay, if you want to go to Jamaica on a retreat, do happy face. If you want to go to Bali on a retreat, do a sad face, please. I'm just interested, because I thought everybody was going to pick Bali, and on Instagram, everybody's been asked for these retreats, and then everybody voted Jamaica. So Jamaica happy face, Bali sad face. That would be really helpful. I don't know how to do polls on YouTube, so forgive me. You can just type and tell me if a retreat would interest you, because people have been asking me about these retreats, and I was like, oh God, really? And then the more I talk to people, the more I'm like, oh, let's do a retreat. So then I was like, oh, do we do the retreat in Jamaica? Do we do it in Bali? I did put Thailand in on Instagram just as a like side thing, but those are the two main places. And has this thing gone? You guys have gone even. You've gone even for Bali and even for Jamaica. That was not helpful at all. I stopped screens for 6 months, and my son will now naturally pick up a book to read. Baby, big up yourself. That is amazing. And also, thank you for sharing, because I do think people can underestimate how like quickly changes will happen in your children's behavior if you just make them. Like, these small changes make a huge difference. It's what I talk about in all of my courses. Like, all of the courses, I explain that little things, because sometimes we think of things as too big and it feels like it's overwhelming, and just small little vibes. On our recent visit to the park, there was this particular family. Their kids weren't playing fairly with others, and they would throw sand in my kids' faces, steal their toys, shove and push. Excuse me? What? And then what happened, babe? Oh, and then that's what you were saying after. You approached the parent and they brushed it off and said that they're just kids being kids. Walk away, and what do? Oh my gosh. This is like my worst nightmare. Because on the one hand, I just want to cuss out the parents, but on the other hand, I have to keep the energy right for the girls. And so I think what I would do, in the beginning when the girls were younger, I would make excuses for children's poor behavior, right? Because I felt like it was important not to be negative for my children. And as they've gone older, I've realized that I was doing them a disservice and also downplaying their feelings. And so now I don't pretend that other children are nice if they're not being nice. I just say to my children that some children are awful, right? And I explain that it's the parents' fault. Yes, I appreciate that for some people that might be controversial, but in my world, it's the parents' fault at a particular age. I appreciate that you can grow your kids only so far and then afterwards they have to leave the nest and do their thing. But when we're talking about like 3 to 5 year olds, in my opinion, it's still the parents' fault. So in terms of like throwing sand and those types of things, I've also got to the stage with my children, which yes, some people would disagree with. I have explained to them that you say to a child if they hit you, because people are hitting and pinching and just abusing my children for no reason, right? And they would come to me and they would cry all the time. The good news is I have observed that if they are with like a friend of mine at the park, they know don't they stand up for themselves better when I'm not there, right? So I have said to them that the first time we explain that we do not accept that behavior, the second time we repeat ourselves and say don't do it again, and the third time if a child hits you, box them back. And I know that's not an ideal scenario, but I'm sorry, I'm not raising children who are going to just constantly lay down and take abuse, because that was what was happening before. And I think, again, this is age related conversations. I don't think you can have that conversation with a 2 year old. I do think that my children at the age of 5 understand the difference between not starting fights but finishing them. And I do think that it is important for them to learn to defend themselves. And I'm also more than happy to take the criticism for that. And I do understand the other side of the argument, but I'm not having it anymore. So, yes, that is my take on that scenario. Reggae Jamming Burgers. Thank you, Ruthie B. I don't know why I could not remember the name. I'm 15 and my comprehension of the food industry has changed so much. Because of you, Gabrielle, big up yourself, babes. My grandma would drink the water after boiling. Grandma had sense. Grandma definitely had sense. Beet juice. Well, go on, big up yourself, my darling. I came across your video. You just gained a follower. Thank you very much, Nika. How are you? How did you come up with the fruitcake idea? You want to try it for your 17th, Alina? How did I come up with the fruitcake idea? I don't know. I don't know how I got to this watermelon cake thing, but I do know that Pinterest definitely gave me some inspiration. And then when I made it, babes, I was like, oh my gosh, this turned out even better than I thought. I'll be honest with you, this year's cake is not as stunning. It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I was rushing, I didn't have guests, and I was just like, it is what it is. But the girls loved it anyway. Thankfully, they're not as judgmental as me. How do I feel about cats? I'm not a huge fan, but they're okay. And they keep rats away, which is more important to me. Scrolling through. Oh my goodness. Hi from Ireland. Big up yourself, Felicia. What are good snack alternatives for kids rather than crisps or sweet foods, but still enjoyable? Ruby, I love a beetroot hummus. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that beetroot hummus comes up in nearly every conversation. But I'm also a baby cucumber, baby carrots, pop a little baby tomato in your mouth kind of girl. And in my children's book, there's a page where the children are, the girls are popping cherry tomatoes in their mouth, and it says pop pop pop, and the girls, whenever they eat tomatoes now, they're like pop pop pop. It's very cute. So yeah, we're all into just single ingredient foods, babe. Single ingredient foods. Yeah, I was fuming. We just had to leave that area before I took some of the mom's teeth with me, but my elder son was about to buck up the main bully, but I stopped that, which I regret now. Babes, honestly, it is a hard situation to manage. What you have described, I just think is really difficult, and I think that oftentimes there's no right and there's no wrong in that scenario, I mean, within the middle part of the spectrum, if you know what I mean. Hi, April. I love your content, and I find that you are very informed before taking a stance on things. Babes, I do try to speak from a place that is less ignorant, but we don't always get it right. Do the girls speak English as well? Yes, they do. They are fluent in French and English, and I have figured out how to make sure they do not speak any English in our house anymore. Can we snack on homemade plantain chips? Babes, you can definitely snack on homemade plantain chips. And as much as I love plantain, and we do eat it every day once it's available, let us not kid ourselves and think that it is the best thing to eat all the time. It is highly calorific, babe, but it is so good. Kim, hi from Barbados. Big up yourself, baby. Be careful, strep throat can give you disease if not properly treated. I didn't know that. You have a children's book. Oh, babes, Phaedra, my book is called The Magical Midnight Rainbow. Can I quickly go get it for you? Hold on. I think, I think it is here. Where's the book? Ah, Phaedra, I thought the book was here. Isn't it here now? I think we read it. We read it tonight, so I can't show it to you. Oh, hold on, live. Look at the book. Look at the book. Look at the book. Magical Midnight Rainbow. Okay? How cute. And let me show you the page I was talking about with the, so it's no longer this way. If you buy it now, it's like, it's this way because I've made it bigger because the pictures were just too cute not to share. But look, so when they read this, they say pop, pop, pop because of the, look at that. It's just so cute. So cute. So I'm going to change the cover again because on the current cover, there's too much white space. But honestly, it's so cute. It's just so cute. And when you talk about like my favorite foods, look at the food though. Look at the color. I just can't get over it, to be honest with you. I look at it, there's not a day where I'm just like, oh my gosh. And the cute thing is that the girls just pick it up by themselves and they just read it by themselves. And I'm just like, it's so sweet. I will never get over it. And also, so on this page, I'll quickly show you. On this page, Nova was like, where's the mummy in this? So I changed it so that the mummy is now in this page. So if you buy now, the mummy is in this page. And then there's this line. So when I first read the story to the girls, they I said, so one of it says, Mommy peeked in, good morning, my berry monsters, who's ready to crack eggs for breakfast? So I read it to the girls and Maya shouted, me, but that wasn't in the book. And I was like, how cute that she shouted me when I read it. So you know what I did? I now added in the line. I was like, it's only when you write your own kid's book that your children say something and you can just add it in the book. It's very cute. Did I make a French version? I didn't. And I was thinking about this a couple nights ago. Maybe I should have made a French version. Oh, it's so sweet. Anyway, I'm over the book. I love the nails. Thank you very much, babes. Good day. Miss Gloria, as in my Miss Gloria. Big up yourself. I've spoken about you on this live before. No, he is mixed. Savvy. Hi, babes. Big up yourself. OMG, I literally aspire to be the mother you are when I'm older. Thank you very much, my darling. My favorite human, Red, you are too sweet. You're super cool. Coming from a teen, I don't know where I'm getting all this teen love, babes. I've got like my first 3 gray hairs, and I would love to be full gray. I would love to be like full gray with like a cute bob. I'm just like full gray. I think it's the podcast that is stressing up my head. So it's really funny to me that teenagers seem to like the vibes because I'm just like, why? Why would you guys like these vibes? I love the way you parent. Thank you very much, Denise. Big up yourself, my darling. Hi from Florida. I'm coming to Florida, babes, before the end of the year. Nika, how are you? Isa, everyone's smiling and showing faces and skin in teeth. Oh, because it ended. I'm such a donkey. Oh, so I feel like we've got more Bali votes from the TikTok flex. Oh no, we got some Jamaica. Oh gosh, it's so hard to tell. Oh, Jamaica got, oh, babes, I don't even know where we're going. Lots of mango. Oh, Miss Gloria, are the mangoes gonna still be there in a few months? I'm coming home in a few months. Hold on to the mangoes. This might sound so silly, but when I was in high school, I made a series of children's books for my future kids and I printed it and read it to my kids. It was a total of 11 books and they all love it. Hold on. Did you write 11 books before you had 11 children? Or did you write the 11 books because you had 11 children? And there's nothing about this that sounds silly. It sounds absolutely adorable. Oh, I definitely need to change up my diet. I'm a lover of chocolate and soda. I'll do better. Babes, The chocolate, just bring it up to like a 70%. Okay, bring it up to a dark chocolate and get those benefits for the heart whilst you snack on a little chocolate. And the soda, yeah, just get rid of it. There's no way to pretty up the soda, babes. Get rid of the soda. No, it was before I had 11 children. It was a coincidence. No, it was not. You wrote 11 children's books and then had 11 kids. That is not a coincidence, babes. There is no such thing as coincidences, and especially not like that. That is crazy. How crazy. Oh my gosh, I really just want to be your friend. I just want to hear all of the crazy things that have happened in your life. Um, do what you want. I don't even know what is going to say. Oh, do what I want in terms of the location. Is that what we're saying? As in just go wherever I want. Um, Also, I was like, is December too soon for a retreat? Have you tried Takis? Babes, I don't even know what Takis is or are. Explain. I love your content. My grandbaby loves the tablet. So when, I'm not sure what you're saying. Oh, when I have her, it's no tablet and she runs wild. Michelle, big up yourself. Aya, yes. I'm not sure what yes is. A hot box? A hot box? What is going on? I am an old fogey, so now she knows no tablet with grandma, and she loves it. I love this. I'm an old fogey too. I definitely have an old spirit, and I relate. Hi, Sin, pick up yourself, baby. When I tell people I raise my children screen free, people laugh at me, and say it will not last. Oh, people love that. They love that it will not last. Takis are probably the worst chips you could consume, but it was a craving of mine when I was like, oh, I don't know Takis. Where are you guys based where you're eating Takis? Do you deal with that? Grateful baby, I don't know what you're asking. I missed the part before. I was telling my friend yesterday that she should look you at TikTok. I'm babe, the skin is not flawless. I don't know. I feel like there's something here. Can you see that? It's not flawless, but it's not too bad. You're having breakouts over the years. Babes, what are we eating? A lot of times our skin is like a reflection of our gut health, baby. And I'm not gonna lie, the sun, let's not deny the magic of the sun. The sun is magical. I so admire your intentional parenting, how do you handle phone use around your girls? Really great question, Sarah. So I do not use my phone around my children in general. Of course, I will go and I will take it to take a picture or a photo or something like that. But in general, there's no phone use. When they were younger than 3, I literally kept the phone outside of the room because I didn't think that they could understand the gray area or understand the need to send a message or to check something. Now they know the rule. If you sit at our dinner table, they'll tell you to come off your phone if you do it. So yeah, so my main thing is no flexibility when they're really really young, and then when they're older you can start to explain things and they'll understand because the foundation has been set. They're spicy US Mexican chips. I like Red Hots. I used to love a Red Hot when I was younger. Those are American. They're a little bit spicy, and no, I don't like them. They taste too sweet. Do you ever feel tired of motherhood? Not like bad, but just like you need a breather? No. And I hope that's not, and it's not dismissing other people who do feel like they need a breather. But I never feel that way. You know why I don't think I feel that way? I think time time just always feels short to me in reference to my children. I feel like they grow and change so quickly, and I know that this like deep connection is going to evolve in a way that pulls us apart, not in terms of like us not being as close, but you know, I'm not going to be their favorite person forever. I'm not going to be the person that they want to sleep with them. I'm not going to be the person that they just want to cuddle or tell everything to all the time. And so I think that I'm just holding on to all of these moments all the time. It actually makes me a little bit emotional. I don't know why I get emotional about it, but it makes me a bit emotional because I look at my children and I'm in awe of them, to be honest with you. So I think the breather thing, I don't really need the breather because I just know that this is all so temporary. As I said, I don't know why it makes me a little bit sad. Um, but yeah, I will not be one of those people that unnecessarily start balling on social media. I definitely need to change it. Oh, we did that. We did the diet thing. Hi, Gills. How are you, my darling? Um, Hi, Aaron. How are you, babes? Comment fais-tu pour être tant sûr de toi? Je t'admires en tant que mère et que femme? Ah, je pense c'est parce que je suis jamaïcaine, ma puce. Et honnêtement, les Jamaïcaines ont beaucoup de confiance, mais aussi j'ai pensé beaucoup. Donc pour moi, j'ai quand j'ai décidé une chose, c'est pas juste par une chance. C'est parce que j'ai pensé. J'ai pensé qu'est-ce que c'est le futur, qu'est-ce que c'est les choses que je veux pour mes enfants. Je pense que c'est ça, une combinaison de les deux. I'm also, hi from Trinidad, baby. I'm also aware you teach your children French. Well, for us, it was Dutch. Why, you may ask? I was visiting the Netherlands while pregnant with my first. Neither me or hubby knew Dutch, so it was hard. Oh my gosh, you are incredible. Did I write it? Of course, I wrote it. Look at the book. It is a colorful bedtime adventure with Maya and Nova. And of course, I wrote the whole thing because I was sick and tired of books that say yuck to foods and like broccoli and just natural food. So I wrote this whole book that is colorful and celebrates food and talks about carrots looking like soldiers and crunch. And basically, the two girls are looking for mommy's favorite food, and lo and behold, it is beetroot because beetroot has changed my life. um, what website are you? Oh, I'll get in trouble if I tell you. So basically, Uncle Jeff. If you guys know who I call Uncle Jeff, then that's where, okay? Uncle Jeff, that's all I'm gonna say. Um, Amy Lou, big up yourself, baby. Amber, if I made the book, yes, I made the book. Fun fact, my name is actually pronounced Seiron. Oh, I'm very sorry. The wave in front is supposed of the E is supposed to be like C. My bad, Seiron. Why are you just telling me this? No, you've been on the lives for ages, babes. Um, Love that. I'm not sure what you love. Oh, I'm confused. Thanks for letting us know. I'm not sure what, but great. Ellen, how are you, baby? Avia, I love your video. Sorry if this is a weird question, but yes, I'm a single mother. Not a weird question at all. Star, big up yourself, baby. Your name is April too? No, it's not, babes. How are you? Um, yes, you are so cool. Yes, I'm so cool. Ooh. Girl, your hair is stunning. Thank you very much. You're very kind, Poppy. I get the feeling that you're biased, but I will take it. I will take all of the biased compliments. Which French workbooks would you recommend for someone who's aiming at being fluent? I wouldn't recommend workbooks at all. I would recommend that you change your phone to French. I would recommend that you force yourself to only speak French. And that might not be because you have children, so go find a friend. I would recommend that everything that you consume, television, radio, podcast, whatever, audio. Appreciate nobody does radios anymore. Anyway, I'm old. But I would recommend that you completely immerse yourself into the language. Have you been to the UK as in ever, or do you mean recently, Amber? When my first was 2, we visited my parents in London, and my friend had him for a day. His English was not advanced enough, and we realized it was really 50-50 or 90-10. Did you go through this? So since we've been traveling, the girls have been speaking more English because they're not hearing me speak French to other people. But I've come up with a game now, and thankfully, in the last week, they're no longer speaking English in our household. So I definitely saw a slight switch, but I would always tell them to translate into the other language, so it never really skewed their vocabulary. Sorry, scrolling because, this is the life. This is the life. Why can't I see my comments? I thought I saw them. I know that your name's April. Did you send other comments? You have such a good influence on young people like myself. Sierra, big up yourself, baby. Thank you. Takis is nasty tasty. Oh gosh. It's a cheese with lemon. Oh gosh, cheese and lemon and vinegar? No, babes. I didn't give my daughter a phone until she was in 11th grade of high school. Denise, that is my vibe. Thank you very much. I don't feel very pretty. I feel like every time I come on this live, I don't feel very pretty. It's like the lighting's messed up and it is what it is, but I do like the compliment. Thank you very much for being so kind. So business is Isaiah, I'm very sorry, babes. Isaiah, let us bring it back to business. That is why how I opened on this live. But we only have 10 minutes because I cannot go to bed at 4 o'clock this morning. So Isaiah, bring it back to business. I love the little game. It's definitely hard when so many languages are going around. Super clever girls. It's so sweet. When your kids join school, how will you stop them from eating unhealthy food? I have zero plans to aim to stop my children from eating anything when they're old enough to make those decisions. I just have to lay the foundation and hope for the best. Pepsi, you agree. I'm not sure what you agree with. How did I learn French so quickly? I learned French from podcasts and from discipline and just deciding that I was going to speak French all the time. Was your method of parenting the way you were brought up? Parts of it, but I'm also very extreme and extra. So it's definitely molded from my life. I've said this before, but I created my parenting courses based off of the fact that I realized that having my own businesses, Isaiah, bringing it back to business, having my own businesses really helped me know how to manage people. And that is a huge part of my parenting. We want to move to Bali. What's it like raising kids there? So I don't live in Bali, baby. So I couldn't really tell you what it's like to raise kids here. But I do like the energy. But I couldn't tell you what it's like to raise children in Bali. I am from Switzerland and a nursery teacher, and I like your way of parenting. By IXD, big up yourself, baby. Um, Thank you, Kanaya. Where are we at? Hi from Switzerland. Oh, got the Switzerland, got the Saron. Am I religious? No, I'm not religious. I respect all faith and I really do admire it, but I don't know anything about religion. Do you think your kids will continue to eat like this when they've moved out? I think it's highly likely. I know everybody thinks that they're gonna binge and go crazy, but you know, one of my children now, she said she had some carrots in a salad once, and basically the carrots were too soft and she refused to eat them. She said that they were overcooked and that I should go to the kitchen and teach the chef how to cook the carrots. And the point is that they know what they like and don't like. It just happens to be that they only like good things because they only know good things. And of course, they may completely detour and go the other way. But I've said this before, I think it is easier to find healthy once you have known what it is than to be an adult and try and figure it out by yourself. Um, Eyebrow look fine after the stove burn. Babes, the eyebrows have grown out. So just to be clear, when I post content, it is never as and when it happens. A part of it is to really protect my children. I know that I share a lot about our lives and a bit about them online, but I don't think that people should ever know where I am when I'm there, if that makes sense. And so the burn, the explosion happened 2 months ago. And so my eyebrows have grown back since, but my eyelashes still have not grown back since. Um, what mix are your children? They are black, Chinese, and white, which is why I used to call them the panda twins. Girl, you're absolutely so beautiful. Sarah, big up yourself, baby. Thank you very much for being so lovely. Um, you're gonna have to love and leave, baby. It has been so lovely to connect with you. A good long babe. I know what you mean about the sleep. Hopefully we connect again, my darling. Thank you very much for joining. Um, any plans to open up a restaurant in New Kingston? Babe, I don't have any plans to open up a restaurant again. I would love to do some pop-ups. I spoke with a hotel yesterday and we might do an event in Portland. That could be fun. I'd love to do some pop-ups. I'd love to do some events. The other day I was tempted to get back into the restaurant industry, and then seeing how people have been reacting to my posts, I'm just like, actually, I don't want to employ people on a big scale. I just want to have like my team, my small team, my assistant, people that help with social media, people that help me with some of my projects. And I don't think I want to go back to like hiring lots of people. Oh, we did that question. 67, I'm so confused. I don't have a husband, baby. I've never been married. More people in the UK need to parent like you do. Definitely a lot of wet flannels, babes. Big up yourself. Oh, why do we keep typing 67? I'm old. Does it mean something? What are your girls' favorite foods? Very good question. Plantain is up there. Cassava is up there. Dashing is up there. Pumpkin with a little bit of cinnamon and sweet potato is up there. I'll ask them again. I do ask them this every so often, and they end up giving me like a laundry list of food when I'm just like, yo, can you give me one? They just can't give you one. I've met a lot of different parents, and what I learned is being strict is going to help your kids. It's funny, someone shared a post with me just before I came on this live, just talking. It was a teenager speaking from the perspective of how her parents have helped her thrive, and she was really just talking about structure and how amazing it is. Would you ever live in a French speaking country? Probably not, because I would love to, from the perspective of making sure that the girl's French was solid, but there's not really any French speaking country that I want to live in, to be honest with you. Visiting and living is very, very different. So I kind of have to continue to bring the French to us rather than bring us to the French, if that makes sense. Capital, how are you, my darling? Okay, cool. I think I've made it. I have made it to the bottom. I think. Have I made it to the bottom? Oh no, we're making it to the bottom. Isaiah, this whole chat was supposed to be about business and we didn't talk about business. I'm very sorry. 67, it's a little silly meme. Oh, I'm too old to get it. I'm very sorry. Jay, pick up yourself, baby. How are you? Younger people seem to be really into it. Yeah, I'm confused and I don't get it. Very sorry, wrong audience. Anyway, lovely people, I have been on here for just over an hour. Isaiah, it's not my fault, babes. We didn't talk about business. But you send some questions and I will make sure that tomorrow's live answers all of your questions, okay? On that note, people, thank you very much for joining me for my live. I will be on the same time tomorrow. And I hope you have an amazing day. If your day is continuing, if your day is coming to an end, I hope that it was amazing. And I will clock in tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.